I'm starting to fall in love with my wife, but I don't know how to deal with it. Screw it, I've called her favorite fancy restaurant and made a reservation for our 3-year anniversary, which is tonight. I'm going to tell her I love her at dessert. Edit, it's now the next day and I told her I loved her last night. It was so hectic. So we got to the restaurant pretty early, but luckily they had a table ready. She ordered wine, we made small talk for a while, but it seemed forced and I knew that I had to tell her soon. So, before the entrees even came I said that I had something to talk to her about. She didn't smile and told me that she knew. Her brother Joe told her, and my goddamn heart almost stopped. I hurriedly told her that I was so sorry. I didn't want her to find out that way. I wanted to tell her myself. She shook her head, frowned and said that it was okay. She just wanted me to be happy and that I deserved it. I told her that I didn't want to stress her out or make her uncomfortable, but I just needed to tell her and see how she felt, and that it was completely up to her. She gave me a look and said that it actually was up to me, and just to do what made me happy. She said that she was probably going to move out after her program ended, and promised to stay out of the way until then. It was then that I realized something was a bit off, and asked what Joe had told her. She said that he told her I wanted to take her out to dinner to tell her that I had started developing feelings for a girl, and wanted to ask Cass if it would be okay if I asked this girl out. It was then I realized that Joe had set me up for the most climactic pickup line ever to exist. Our entrees came and I explained that, yes, I had started developing feelings for a girl, I just didn't want it to mess up what we had. She said that it wouldn't mess anything up, she still loved the boys and would take care of them in the house. I continued to then explain that I wasn't going to ask the girl on a date though, and she asked incredulously, why not? Then I dropped my smoothest line I've ever dropped. Because I'm already on a date with her. She gave me this look, then she looked away, smiled and shook her head and asked really? I nodded and told her that I cared about her more than anybody else, that I loved our family, and that I had fallen in love with her. She then took a drink of wine, rolled her eyes and said about effing time. And I'll never forget what happened next. Maybe it was a faux pas, but I leaned across the table and kissed her, spilling her wine. But neither of us cared and we kissed for about a minute, before she told me to get off her before her crab legs got cold. After leaving the restaurant we got ice cream and sat around and kissed some more before heading home. Joe was sitting on our couch watching one of those VH1 dating shows with a poop-eating grin on his face, and Cass ran in, screaming at him that he ruined everything and that she was going to have to move in with mom now. We let him believe it for about 5 seconds before bursting into laughter. He shook my hand and told me that the boys were sleeping and left. I picked Cass up and kissed her and carried her to my room where we made out for like 2 hours and snuggled the crap out of each other. She isn't ready for anything else, but emphasized yet. I'll give her all the time in the world. At one point the youngest son came in because of a nightmare, and brought his dog and claimed that the doggy was scared so we let him in. I woke up early to make everyone breakfast and am about to go and kiss my wife goodbye, and ask my boss for the second part of the day off so that I can spend more time with her while the boys are at school.